Alright guys, so I just wanted to show you this. To show you how I think about salaries and taxes. So guys, if you're earning a salary and you're 0k a year up until, say this is the axis for salary. Got an x-axis and a y-axis. And the x-axis is your raw pay. And the y-axis is your take-home pay. I'm going to call that THP. Up until 12k, you go up in a straight line. You make pound for pound. You get to keep everything you make. So this is a slope of 1. Then after 12k until about, I think it's 40k, you pay around 20%. So your slope here is 0.8. It's less efficient. Every unit of work that you put in after 12k is 20% less efficient. You're working 80% for yourself, 20% for the taxman. And then up until and after 40k, up until I think about 120k, you're literally getting taxed 40% on that. So this line barely goes up at the same pace as the other one did. This is like a slope of 0.6. And then further beyond this point, whatever you make beyond this point, you're getting taxed 45% on it. So that's a slope of 0.55. So look at this line where you were paying no taxes. Extrapolate where this line would be if there wasn't any taxes being paid. And all this difference here, which you can see it grows more and more in real dollar terms. The more you make, the less efficient your unit of work becomes for the money that you get. So everything past 120k, I just call this the sucker zone, because you're being a sucker. Because like imagine this is just tax, but you're adding national insurance on top, you're adding council taxes on top. This line becomes even worse actually. So look at the difference between what you're making on paper and what you're getting. And I just want you to think about, like, if you're in the sucker zone, you gotta stop. Like, as soon as you reach this threshold, this 120k threshold, you need to stop what you're doing immediately, and you need to stay there. Don't look for promotions, don't look for anything, just stay there. Don't move. And just put in the minimum amount of work required to get that money, to get this money. Keep getting it. And then you're going to use the rest of your time to build up your own business and to relocate to somewhere more tax efficient, like Dubai. Don't go into the sucker zone. Don't be a sucker. Look at this. Like, guys, I'm making this video because I had friends who, when I was 2 to 3 years into my investment banking career working as a quant, I had guys that started with me from the same cohort of people who started with me, who about 2 years in, it was during the pandemic, they got recruited or headhunted for all of these hedge funds, right? And that kind of just doubled their salary immediately. And the bonuses they were getting as well, they doubled or tripled in some cases. But they're putting in so much more work. They're putting in so much more work for they were doing triple the work to only get double the salary. And of that double salary, they're fully in the soccer zone as well. So apart from the fact they're putting in a way bigger ratio of time to pay, of effort to pound earned, they're also in the soccer zone. So the pounds that they did earn were so inefficient. They earned 55 pence for every pound that they earned. Actually less because of council tax and national insurance and stuff like that. So that's why I never went to work for hedge funds in the UK. I've been living in the UK for 7 years. I only just left. And guys, I've been headhunted by places like Two Sigma and Citadel. For years, I've had recruiters try like getting in touch with me, trying to set up interviews, and bigger banks as well, like places like Citibank, whom I've actually interviewed successfully with. I just chose not to go, or JP Morgan, places like that. So I did have that opportunity squarely to go and do that step up. But then I looked at this graph and I was like, what's my ratio of time and effort spent per pound gonna look like? First of all, because I'm gonna actually have to work a lot harder to just make a bit more money. Like the biggest fucking bullshit that I ever heard was I was on something like, I don't know, like 100K at my current employer, and I interviewed with Citigroup, and after a couple of interviews I was successful and they wanted me, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna offer you 120. So they're like, oh, we're gonna give you more money to come here, but they're actually gonna work me though. Like I was gonna have to work 100% more for a 20% pay rise, which was in this sucker zone as well. And so I wasn't gonna see half of that money. I wasn't gonna see it. And I got that pay rise with my current employer within a couple of months in my current workplace while still working a lot less. So don't be a sucker is what I'm saying. Don't be a sucker. Screw your employer over every time you can because nobody gives a shit about you. And the other thing I wanted to say was, yeah, so with these hedge funds, guys, I took a calculated risk with my career. I declined all of these offers for all of these big names, all of these step ups, because I put the numbers on paper and I was like, yeah, it sounds good on paper, I'm getting double, but I'm actually not getting double. I'm working triple to get 50% more because half of the doubling goes to taxes. Like, I always thought if I was gonna do this, like the hedge fund stuff, like the super high pay stuff, I'm gonna do it like the first thing I'm gonna do is make this line efficient. I'm gonna efficientize my taxes before I increase my work output for more money. Like I'm not gonna work triple to only make 50% more. That's just bad math. If you're looking at the effort and energy per dollar earned equation, it's just bad fucking math. Don't do it. However, I would do it if, say, I could move to Dubai, pay less taxes, pay no taxes, and I knew that, yeah, I'm going to be working 14 hours per day or 16 hours per day, but I'm going to be doing that for a 300K salary a year, and every single dollar of the 300K is going to stay right in my pocket, and at the end of that year, I'm going to be able to go to somewhere and buy a home or like buy a flat somewhere like Dubai or Bali and then rent it out and have cash flowing assets in my portfolio. Like I'm not gonna do it just because it sounds good on paper. I'm gonna do it for a very limited time, for a very good reason, and I'm gonna have an exit strategy. And I'm not gonna be in the soccer zone when I do it because I'm doing it somewhere where I'm not paying half of that. Like if I'm gonna work hard, I value my work a lot, guys, and you should too. I value my energy, my time, and my work. So therefore, if I'm putting in the work, I want to get all of my benefits, all of my rewards. So fuck that. Fuck this shit.